Hey everyone, it's Jason. Here's another quick unboxing for a Massive Darkness, the one, not Massive Darkness 2, um, crossover. It's a crossover pack from Zombicide, the Green Horde expansions. So the other videos I have done was the Black Plague expansion, but that also had cards to let you take the characters from Massive Darkness to Zombicide. This just brings the monsters from the Green Horde and some of its expansions to the first Massive Darkness. Which is why I didn't pick it up initially, because I was like, I don't have any of the Green Horde stuff right now. But some of them also, I bought the original Massive Darkness stuff and then packs because I was like, oh, it'd be kind of neat to add them in later. So I picked this one up extra in case I ever pick these up. I have them available because I have the full collection. So this is just going to be a stack of the different monsters and character cards that you can bring those characters in. So to start off, we're going to look at this. So there's rules for familiars. So familiars are a special new type of starting equipment or treasure. It says each familiar card should be shuffled into its corresponding treasure deck. One hero may begin the game with the starting familiar instead of their leather armor. When a hero gets a familiar equipment card, the corresponding familiar miniature is set in the same zone. If the card is discarded for any reason, move the familiar miniature as well. If it fled the scene and is lost, the hero holding the familiar card is considered the handler. So some more rules for those. The familiar counts as a hero that has 0 XP but doesn't affect enemy health or mob size. It is removed from the board after receiving an equal amount of wounds to its health. It is discarded due to the magical bond. A handler is dealt 1 wound and their familiar dies. It can move freely with its handler as long as they're both in the same zone. The handler may spend 1 action to give 1 command to one of their familiars. In addition to once per activation, the handler may also spend 1 XP to give 1 command. So some different rules. So basically, ours in Green Horde or one of the expansions. Is there's extra little animal creatures, dogs, birds, that were available for your players to use. So this lets you bring those into Massive Darkness, which doesn't otherwise have anything extra like this. So the commands they can use: get up, combat, same as the heroes, movement. May spend movement points to move 1 zone. Can't open doors though. And carrier. Only familiars with this skill may carry, but not use, 1 equipment at a time. They may spend 1 movement point to take 1 treasure or objective token, or take or give 1 equipment card to a hero in the same zone, so you can have them pass stuff around. It's a fun little extra thing. So let's look at those guys quick. So you're going to have a 5, a 4, a 3, a 2, and a 1. And then a starting 1 is how it's going to work. The starting 1 is called Magog. So it's 1 attack, movement points, 4 health, 1 carrier, slippery. Handler in the same zone gets +1 blue die for defense. The level 1 is Vandius, which is a bird cat. 1 magic, 2 defense, 4 movement, 1 health, carrier, slippery. Gets 1 attack or defense +1 starburst. Level 2 is Vatan, so it gets 2 dice per melee and some defense. Just has 3 points, 2 health, slippery. Enemies in the same zone get -1 defense. And then we kind of get the alternate versions of them. We get Gog. He's a little bit more rare. Movement points, the same stuff. The extra defense. They're just upgraded versions, essentially. We got Seth, boosted stats, and Nulcifer, it's -2 defense instead. So that's your little it's kind of a neat little add-on to those. Then we're going to get some enemies. So we're going to have level 1 Orc Walkers. So your orcs walkers can now be used as part of a mob. So I think it's like the Orc Abomination and like the Orc Walker, or I don't remember exactly which ones they are. But they work the same way as leaders of the mobs. You have 1 big guy and then like a couple of smaller guys. After enemy phase, roll 1 yellow dice, add 1 Orc Walker minion for each attack, ignore the power if you run out of Orc Walkers. So you got a level 2 version, which you're just going to have more increased stats each time. Level 3, level 4, and a level 5 version. Then we're also going to get some Goblin Runners. You don't have a leader, they're just smaller guys, but at the end of their activation, if there are no heroes in their zone, they activate again. Only 1 reactivation, so they're trying to get closer to everybody running around. And you're going to get a 2, 3, 4, and 5 of them as well. Then we have just a level 3 agent, the Orc Necromancer. So at the enemy space, spawn a guard on the level token of this tile. So agents are always spawning more things. But yeah, just 1 level agent for the Orc Necromancer. We have the Spectral Walker. There's Ghost Zombies. Melee or range defense +1, magic defense -2. So it can stand up to physical attacks, but it can't take magic. And we get the 5 levels of those as well. Which is interior ability doesn't change, just the gains bonus for that. We're gonna get a mob of Swarm of Rats. Swarm of Rats activates 2 times during enemy phase. Not very strong, but they can overwhelm you. And we get the 5 levels of those. Then we have Tainted Walkers. When the boss of this mob dies, each hero in the same zone deals 1 wound. And we get our 5 levels for each of those. We have another agent. We have the Grand Inquisitor Innsmouth. No line of sight can be drawn to Innsmouth's zone by heroes outside of it. At the end of enemy space, spawn a guard on the level token of this tile. So he's a level 4 agent. Then we're going to get into our roaming monsters. So we're going to have the Orc Abomination, which is the lesser one, and then we'll get the greater one, which has attack, wound +1, defense, blink results, gain +1 defense. We'll have the Necromantic Dragon. So just its other stats change, but the interior abilities are the same. Just these stats change on the bottom. So attack, you get a diamond. Number of wounds dealt applies to all heroes in the same zone. When it spawns, roll 1 red die to determine the only kind of attack that can target it. Melee, range, or magic. So it's kind of fun. So just you can determine what you can and can't kill it with. Lesser and greater Tainted Abomination. Attack +1 wound. When the Tainted Abomination dies, the hero in the same zone deals 2 wounds. The lesser and greater version of Lord of Skulls spawns with Doom and Gloom. Search for them in the deck. Can't be targeted if Doom or Gloom are in the same zone. It's kind of fun. So it's a roaming monster that kind of creates its own special mob. So here's Doom, and he gets both versions. I just expect if you summon the lesser, you pull the lesser version. Summon the greater, you get the greater. Spawns with Lord of Skulls and Gloom, so they're all going to come together no matter what. Gains attack +2 and +2 defense if Lord of Skulls is alive. And then Gloom is the same thing. And then the last roaming is we have the greater and less than flowing. When flowing enters a hero zone or the hero enters his zone, deal 1 wound to that hero. So those are all our different monsters that we can bring over. Now we have all the different characters we can bring over. So we can bring over Asim, who's a paladin of fury. And I'm not gonna. Yeah, I can read all this bullets. So, Shadow Mode skill, defense, inflict 1 wound to the attacker. Special skill, self-defense. When Asim inflicts wounds to the defender while defending himself, he inflicts 1 wound. Burning. Attack with a diamond, +4 attack, and Burling takes 1 wound. Special skill, well armored, may equip 2 armors in his body slot, and he is a pit fighter berserker. Johans. Attack +1 wound for each zone between the attacker and the defender, excluding their own zones. An engineer. Attack after rolling may discard 1 equipment to gain 1 starburst or 1 attack. It's a Nightshade Ranger. We have Megan. Starburst at +1 attack. Special skill Zapper. Once per activation, roll 1 red die, deal wounds equal to the number of swords to 1 enemy in line of sight with 1 to 2. A battle wizard. I would show off the back of the cards, but they're only a little bit bigger artwork. They're not like very much extended, so it's not really a point. We have Rolf. Attack Starburst +1 sword per enemy figure killed by Rolf this round. Special skill Athletic. No armor equipped. 1 two-handed melee weapon is considered a one-handed. So you can equip multiple big swords. He's a Shadow Barbarian. Selly. Cancel the attack defenders, Starburst, and diamonds. Special skill Heart of Sword. Equip sword attack plus Starburst defender -2. Repeat twice. Blood Moon Night Runner. We have Caitlyn. Reroll +1 reroll attack defense dice, special skill and guard. Two-handed weapon. May equip a one-handed melee weapon on her other hand. An extra attack. Nightshade Ranger. Solovig. Defense. If this attack deals no wounds, inflict 1 wound to the attacker. Intimidation. Enemies in the same zone as Solovig. Attack -1. Noble Warrior. Duran. Magic +1 if you get Crystal. Far casting, dual wielding. Duran's magic attacks have range +1. Battle Wizard. Cabral. Dual wielding. Attack Starburst +3 attack. Skills Skullcracker. If he's wounded by melee attacks, roll 1 red die, deal wounds equal to the number of swords of the attacker, a Shadow Barbarian. The artwork on these cards are a little bit different because I believe these are from artist sets, or they were based on a different game. They're included in here, but their characters are based from a different game. They like to do that, the Simon games a lot. Keurig attacks +1 per other hero in the same zone. Spotter. Kragan heroes in the same zone may attack, reroll blank results 1 additional time. A Noble Warrior. Oh yeah, see, like these guys, like this guy has some information on the back. Kragan Sword are separate heroes with distinct ID cards, but play with the same miniature. Each one gets their own class sheet, HP, XP. Set that down. When Kragan Sword have separate health, both are eliminated as soon as one of them reaches 0. They're both fully healed and resurrected by spending just 1 token. One gets stunned, both are stunned. If one of them uses a get up, they both use get up. Krag can act for movement actions is carried around the board by Throg. Krag can turn, be resolved any turn. Player space before or after the other player's turn. So then here's Throg, and there's the other information on him. So that's kind of neat. I didn't actually catch that before. That's the only cards that are like that, I believe. But yeah, those two are a special combination together. That's kind of neat. Once per activation, if an ally in the same zone is attacked, Throg may become the target of that attack. +1 movement point per movement action. He's a Bone Crusher. These guys don't have anything. So we have Tola. When using charge, Tola gains attack +1 wound. Scrum can spend 1 action to push all enemies in a zone to a single adjacent zone. Pit Fighter Berserker. Carol Black Oak. Attack Starburst. Roll 1 yellow dice and deal wounds equal to the number of attacks. Collector character gains double XP for killing minions. It's a Bone Crusher. Cardinal Brimbrower, Magic Starburst, +2 attack. Ballista Mage, may use ranged weapons as magic weapons. Sorcerer. Alright, down to the last two here. So you have Kendra, dual wielding attacks. If the attack inflicts any wounds, inflict the same amount to a different enemy in the same adjacent zone. Resistant. Defense 2 Starburst, stun the enemy. A Battle Wizard. And our final one is Spellbones. Defense, you may reroll blank results one additional time. Special skill Vigor. When Spellbones is fully healed, he gains attack +1 Starburst. He's a Battle Wizard. Alright, there's all our different characters. So that is the Green Horde and expansions. So you can add these characters over to Massive Darkness 1 if you own the figures for them. If you don't, like if you bought Massive Darkness 1, you bought this and you didn't, you could really substitute any other miniature for these, and then at least have different abilities and stuff too, which is also a fun thing to do. Same thing with the enemies. You could just swap out like your regular orc for a orc walker instead. Just have different stats if you don't have all the miniatures. So that's also a fun thing you can do. Yes, this pack is, you might be able to find it still in retail places. I don't think it was a Kickstarter exclusive at all. But yeah, it's kind of a fun thing to do. And then Massive Darkness 2 that is coming out also has packs with this. They'll let you bring stuff from the Green Horde and Black Tide Zombicide over. Although I think they skipped all the expansions. I think they only did... I think they did core sets. They might have done some of the bigger expansions, but they didn't do any of the Kickstarter characters. Because I think they probably figured at this point it would be too hard to get a hold of them. But we'll look into that when Massive Darkness 2 finally shows up at my house. See you guys later. Bye.